All right, so today's video, we are watching a Gold 1 DPS on PC play Ashe and Pharah. So obviously, heroes I'm definitely good at. And they say, salutations. Longtime viewer, and I'm coming from 6v6 and trying to adjust to 5v5. My goal is to get diamonds so I can play with my friends. My biggest struggle is reading when and where fights are about to break out, which makes my timing and positioning inconsistent. I think there are a few things that go on in this game. It's a surprisingly close one where I feel like my team, in particular, my other DPS, did a really good job carrying my weight. I play Ashe on defense and Pharah on attack in this video. I've been trying to focus on playing high ground, using cover, and generally being patient and dying less often. I also warm up with Vaxta before I start playing and take breaks to review my match after each game. But I still end the game with the most deaths on the team and very low uptime, and even with cover and high ground advantages, I find I have trouble winning duels. I'm wondering if you could give me some advice for how to increase the amount of fight participation so I can spend more time playing the game of Overwatch and less time playing Respawn Simulator. What should I be looking for to better predict fights and set up before they happen? Thanks for always putting out entertaining and helpful videos. It's also nice to see a fellow Bostonian out there. Heck yeah. All right, we'll see what we can do. We'll see if you get some good stuff. I mean, everything, yeah, you're doing all the proper, like, you know, you have routines, warm-up routines, etc. So it is good to do that. So we'll see how this goes. All right. This is a normal spot to be in. Everything so far is kind of fine. I want you to be... And again, I'll do this sometimes too. I want you to get really wary of just standing in the middle of the open trying to hit your dynamite perfectly. I want you to like fix this part where you kind of just stand in the middle of the open. Like just again, from their perspective, this is what they see. It's not the worst case scenario, but like the more you can have movement when you use your dynamite, like you throw it, then you kind of like, just don't be as static in your movement, I guess is the best way to put it. When you do that dynamite, I see a lot of Ashes get killed that way. And as somebody who doesn't play a lot of Ashe, I might even do that sometimes if you see me in like a Mystery Heroes or something. So the point being is, you know, whenever I play against good Ashe players, they're very good at like being able to maneuver around and also hit the dynamite. Obviously, once you get your perk, that's unlucky right there. Nothing you can do about that. So you can kind of get away with that later on. You said they used Coach Gun there. I mean, I thought they were just staggering out anyway in a lost team fight, but I mean, maybe I'm misunderstanding something here. I don't think anybody would have got back in time. I guess in theory you could have survived that to maybe get to the point, but that was better. Good dynamite. Remote dynamite, yeah. So I see a lot of people use remote dynamite right now, and it makes sense. Obviously, if you want to be super accurate with it, you can, but right there, like this time, and like, okay, so like, let's talk about this. This is already a moment I've seen from you where like, one thing I want to point out to people is if you get a trade on any of these team fights where you're getting snowballed, again, I usually, reference snowball as like, the team fight keeps going, your team never settles. Instead of like just shooting at the queen there, you just kind of like wait to do a dynamite. Like right there, if you kill that queen, heck, maybe you get a double headshot on the Reaper and the Reaper doesn't expect it. That is how you retake these points. You want to be able to get a kill. So don't give up like the possibility of a free kill, right? Like, I think that was a bit of a misstep where, like, maybe you don't get the kill, but, like, hey, 10% more ult charge, that can make or break a team fight. Things like that. Like, right there, it felt like you played it super safe. And that's, like, a huge part of it. You said you wanted to participate in these team fights more. Well, that's a step, right? You're not, falling over there. Your death count's only at 1 right now, right? Like, there was opportunity there to build up a little bit of stuff and maybe get a better retake or maybe, like, just give yourself a little bit more room to work with. Thankfully, your Ramacha just like runs out there and all that, but dynamites need a lot of work. Just want to point that out. You talked about watching your reviews, and let me see what okay, yep. See what I'm talking about, by the way? That static play you're doing where you throw the dynamite and then you stand still. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that will get you killed a lot as you climb more. Like, you said your goal is diamond. I mean, even in, like, gold 1, I think that they might be able to get away with that sometimes. Like, but, like, once you start to move in towards closer to diamond, I think people will take advantage of that massively. I want to get you out of that habit now. Okay. Obviously, you get the remote detonator, so you should be a lot better at that now. I'll see how you react to it. But the reason why, and people go, yeah, but, like, if they get the remote detonator, why would you be, like, adamant about that point? Two reasons. There's two things here, okay? One, you still have to get the perk. right? Which means that early game, you don't want to stand there and be a statue, because then that's a free kill for the other team. So that's already going to set your team back. Number two, what happens if you pick the wrong perk? I mean, we've all probably done it. Anybody here pick the wrong perk before? I have. I do it all the time. I don't do it on purpose. Sometimes, like, I go to, you know, select my perk, and then out of nowhere, someone surprises me, and I click my button really quickly to react, and I pick the wrong perk, right? So what happens if you pick the wrong perk? You know, what happens? So getting you out of this habit of just standing still like a statue, I think is going to put you in a much better spot going forward, right? And then maybe that, you know, maybe if they ever change the perk in the future, like, what if they decide, hey, this perk gets, you know, 95% pick rate, and we want to make this, like, you know, a little bit harder to be able to do, and when they make it like it's a second for activation, right? Then now you get nerfed. So again, let's grow out of, like, or build out of some of these habits that you have early, so that way it's not an issue later on. All right.
Looks like they're on the move again.
Oh, it happened to me on Juno. Yeah, I like taking triple jump. Obviously, again, take whatever you want on that one. And then I started, like, jumping up in the air. I'm like, why am I not jumping? I didn't even realize it. Then I immediately started trying to heal somebody and started machine gunning them. I'm like, wait a second, no, I didn't want. So, yep. Sometimes you pick the wrong perk, you don't even realize it. I don't mind this position in here. You're taking an off angle, making it a little bit more difficult on them. You detonated that too early. Okay. Yep. Okay, Bob. There you go. I mean, you could argue you would wait on your Symmetra ultimate to, like, kind of work before you use your ult. But at the same time, I've lost many team fights playing that too safe, so I'm more of the proactive ultimates. Now go get some damage. Go get your ult back quickly. Okay. All right. What is this? You keep going back and forth. Like, you're not even settling in. You're just going back and forth now. So you go from being a statue on, like, your other stuff to now you're taking yourself out of team fights. Like, this isn't, like, look at your death count, right? Right? You have one death. You say that you die all the time and you're always running back from spawn. That's not the case. Right now, you're actually taking yourself out of team fights. You're nerfing yourself. Like, let me show you an example. They haven't even really established, like, super, like, aggressive position. I know they went up here, but, like, sometimes you could, why not be a little bit more, like, you know, a little bit more, you know, proactive. Go up here for, like, an initial pick. Like, be a little bit more aggressive, but then also be willing to back up when you need to. Right now, you're just backing up right away. You just see somebody like, okay, got to back up. Now, maybe you saw them cross and you want to go here, but then you're going to go here and you're going to soon find out that there are going to be limited shots on these people up here, and everybody on your team needs help around this area, right? These players aren't going to be able to be here the whole time. When you keep going back and forth like this, and you're just kind of taking yourself out of the team fight to do a dynamite rotation, you're just nerfing yourself at that point. So you're making it tough on you. See, now your teammates don't have the same pressure, and see what I mean? Like, you're here, right? This queen's about to ult, obviously. But you're here, and now you've kind of put yourself in a spot where, like, you might be able to help, you might not be able to. Now, obviously, hindsight, you know, can be a thing, and the Reaper goes over here. But again, maybe your teammates help you kill the Reaper when you're over here, or you disengage properly. Again, you gotta be confident in sometimes just having those 1v1s. That queen ult missed by a mile, by the way, chat. So, good news is this going to this spot didn't hurt you. So, like, you know, that's the good news. So it ended up working out. Although that Reaper will not disappear. They will probably TP out. Yep. There you go. And I will say, even though I was a bit, like, adamant about you going back and forth there, that angle did end up working out because of how they played that. Okay, now I want you to stay here, though. Go up on the bridge. Yes, there you go. Good job. Very well played. That was a weird-looking respawn. This is good. Yes, yes. Here we go. Good dynamite. So, just to give you kind of some feedback here, it's okay to hold your spot longer. Again, like, I know you go to a different spot here, but you need to... Okay, let me kind of explain this. If I'm playing Reaper, for example, right, and you're like, you go, yeah, but the Reaper's going to go up here. If I'm playing Reaper, okay, and all I need to do is teleport to make someone move away, I'm already like, okay, okay, cool, thank you. You don't want to give up the map control. You need to fight for spots. Yes, they're going here. Yes, your teammates kind of let them go by there, but you need to be able to hold your spots a little bit longer. And you're the third option here, right? If they go up here, truthfully, you're the third option. Like, they're not going to kill anybody, and they're not going to kill you first. So, like, you're the third option, and you being the third option here could be the make or break, right? How often do you find yourself in an advantageous position in an Overwatch, and then your teammate just ditches you mid-team fight out of nowhere, and you're like, huh? Because you would have won the team fight. Don't do that to your teammates, okay? It doesn't mean that backing away is like a bad idea all the time, but this is a situation where fight for this positioning. Like, keep this, right? By the time they actually go over here and maybe like the queen pulls like your Sierra, then you react, right? Like, say your Sierra gets pulled by the queen and you see that happen and you can't help, then that's when you peace out, right? Because you recognize that, okay, this is not going to be a good team fight for us. Sucks for our Sierra there, but we're going to back away, right? So yeah, exactly. You basically back away and isolate your team away from that, and then you put yourself here. Now, could it work? Maybe you get a kill in the BAP in the middle and it all works out, but like, the best way to maintain position is to fight for that position. Now, if you look up top, the Reaper got to about half HP. The Queen got to about half HP. And rather than you giving extra pressure there, you've done the same thing. You've rotated back main. Now your team has kind of lost control of the map. You're going to throw a dynamite. It's going to be a good dynamite, right? But like, you're not holding your spots for too long, and you're giving up those spots too easily. So by the time you can even do anything, the team fight's already over, and you're on your back foot. Now they're up top left, and they end up killing you anyway. So all because you don't help battle for that positioning on the part of the map. You give up free space. Now you're going to run back. You're out of a team fight where, like, you have a Kitsune here. Your team can maybe hold it with a Ramatral, but, like, you're talking about having more participation. You're the one taking yourself out of most of these fights to not participate in the team fights. Thankfully, your teammates clutch it, right? I don't mind your pathing here because they're going to look at those doorways. So your teammates clutch it, but again, it has that same kind of repeat thing that happens, right? So... Yep. Do you need like a pool day? I'm starting to think you might need a pool day because I've watched you kind of just like really, it seems like you're scoping out the possibility of a vacation spot. And like, I'm starting to think you might need a pool day. Got to get a nice relaxing day, you know, go to the pool. Cause I keep watching you run around here and just, you're looking at the pool. You're looking at like, oh, this looks nice. You're looking over here. So, you know, maybe you're due for one, you know, maybe you're due for one. Let's keep going here. Yeah, you know? Okay, now, Chad, this is a moment where you would back up, right? Let me explain why. You turn the corner, you see 2 or 3 right there. You go, okay, like, if I stand here, I'm isolated. But now that's going to shift. And you go, why is that going to shift? Look where your Symmetra is. Look where your Moira is, right? I think that's a Moira. Now you have what would be a crossfire. You basically, if they turn the corner here, you win. So what you don't want to do just yet is turn all the way over here. Your teammates have this handled. Right? Look at this. Your teammates have this, right? They have this area, which means that this Sierra is probably going to have to push in, which means that you have a Ramattra or a Moira. You have you right here. It's free kills. So the correct play here would be to stay here for now since your teammates have this side handled. You don't have to worry about the cart because your teammates can see. You're going to hold this area, okay, just for now. Then you kind of see what happens and then make a decision after. But let's see what you do. Good. Perfect. Done. Easy. Stayed in the team fight, helps your teammate, then you go back to the angle when that happens. Perfect. See how easy that was? You stayed involved. Bob is fine there to counter it. It's going to die pretty quickly, to be honest with you, but like sometimes that's fine. Like if a Bob counters an aggressive Moira ultimate, I'm okay with that. I don't want that to be your 1-for-1 trade every time. But remember, you know, not losing a team fight is more beneficial than losing a team fight. Losing a team fight and saving your ultimates. Started having a hiccup right there. All right, here we go. Hey, when you're like mid-talk and you sound like a hiccup or something. Here we go. I mean, that was just kind of a good play. I mean, you could have backed away a little bit. Or like, kind of, I don't know. Does coach gun available? I didn't see. I kind of was zoned out for a second. I didn't see if you had that. If you did have your coach gun, you definitely coach gun back. And then go for like more distance. They use coach on the Reaper TP. That's what I thought. Okay. So yeah, you're good on that one. All right, back to your spot. Yep. Good job. I began a lot of discussion on like how to deal with a Sierra, and I just want to point out to, you know, I think this is a good way to kind of segue into this point for people because it can be very helpful. When you play against a Sierra, you have to play good cover. When you play good cover, this is what happens. So if you notice right there, I get a lot of people come to my channel and go, hey, like, why have they not nerfed Sierra yet? And I go, well, like, it's hard for me to give an answer to that because in top 500, like, Sierra is not that strong. She's like, I think last I saw was like a 48% win rate, which is still good by Blizzard standards. I think 45% is like their like low end of that number. But like, it basically comes down to this. You just hide behind a wall, you play corners, and then that right click loses all the value in the world, like basically the auto aim part. So if I give one bit of advice to everybody here, no matter what rank you're in, when you play against a Sierra, just position accordingly. Do you see how easy it was for the Ashe to get like just to back away on the wall and like hide that, right? That's all you got to do. So that means that, and I know I stress this all the time with my spectators, but I do it for a reason. Good positioning will lead to good results and will lead to quicker climbs than you think. Believe it or not. Good positioning does not mean run away from team fights, by the way. Good positioning means that you have cover when you need it and you don't have to go across the map to get that cover. That is what I'm trying to say. So if you think about cover and you play against a Sierra, all you need to do is play more position on walls. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Like if you're a tank in the middle of the open like this and you go right here, this would not be good positioning, right? Because to get to cover, you have to either run here, which you're not going to because there are teams there, or you have to run backwards, but there's a distance here, see? So the Sierra, if they're right here and you're in the middle of the open, that's a free kill for Sierra. But if you're playing here, if you get darted by the Sierra, you do this, and then now you're clear. No matter what rank you're in, bronze all the way to top 500, that is how you have to play. If you have positioning like that, Sierra loses a ton of value. A ton of value, right? Doesn't mean she doesn't have a lot of ammo, doesn't mean she can't do a lot of damage, but a lot of people die to that auto aim, and all you need to do is play better position. She's still gonna get kills on you sometimes, right? An aggressive Sierra, like, but I'd rather have a Sierra force their cooldown into my team to try to kill me on a track and dart than to be in the middle of the open and fall over to it. You know, I'll still die to it sometimes, right? You know, obviously, like, that's gonna happen, but that will, I'm telling you, if you start doing that, you'll see that, you'll see that get better. This wasn't even like about the Ashe here. I just wanted to kind of segue to that point because I get a lot of questions about Sierra. So, yep.
30 seconds.
Here we go. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Nope, nope. No, 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 no. See, like, it's so funny that you did that. If the Reaper's gonna kind of like try to outplay you with the shift, I'm getting as much distance as I can. Okay? I'm getting as much distance as I can there. Again, not an easy team fight for you, okay? Get a good dynamite on point, nice. I mean, you forced out a shift and a lamp, we take those. Okay. Okay, dynamite point now. Get your bob. That's going to be a good bob because it goes all the way down the sight line. Very good bob. Just to show people why this is a very good bob, is it's basically on the sight line here. So anybody on this side of the cart is going to be in a bad spot, which means they're forced to have to push into spots that aren't good. Like, look at this BAP. This BAP's stuck. So very good bob location, by the way. Very good bob location. Honestly, that was a good play by the Queen. You know, could you have went high ground? Like, I like to go up top, but like, I know why you were there because initially you needed the bob, so I'm not like super upset with that. I think that was just a good play by the Queen. Good reaction to your bob. But you're gonna come back to the point, dynamite the point. Great dynamite, kill the lamp, good job. Shoot for the BAP if you can. BAP's out of the team fight. I did see you wanted to go for the BAP. You're doing the right thing, by the way. Nice job. Again, I know that the Ashe didn't get the kill chat, but like, if you want to know how you lose team fights in this situation, it is going to be, if you lose team fights in this situation, straight up, it's going to come down to bad target focus. You had the right idea. You didn't obviously get the kill there, but you had the right idea. Now you win the team fight. So that's what I would do. But there you go. So, like, you're not playing bad, I feel like. This is where you go Pharah, it looks like, which I'm kind of surprised you did. Obviously, they have a lever at the beginning here, so maybe you have an advantage here, but I don't know. I'm kind of surprised you're doing this. Even more so going this way. Why that pathing? Wait, are you going main? Wait. What? Oh, dude, okay. I gotta teach you something here. So the easiest way to win this with the Pharah is not to go all the way far back and play corners like this, is to wait till your teammates get to the corner. As these players are engaging in, you go up above and you try to make an aggressive play, right? That's usually Like you want to go over this way. Now you can. I think you can even float back and forth here if you do it right. Right. But like imagine this. You're over here. Even then you can spam out this angle way easier. Right. You can get the pylon. You can kill the Ayari. You can go over the top. When you do that, that's going to create less pressure for your teammates here. But going here is a very safe way to play. That's why I got very confused when you pathed out the left doorway. Do you know what I mean? Like when you pathed out the left doorway, I was very confused by that one. So anyway, let's go back to this. Oh, you would be having such an easy time on getting like ults there. Thankfully, like your teammates get map control and it doesn't work out. But again, setting you up for good habits is what we want to do. So now you're fine. Now you're playing. If you haven't seen recently, chat, a lot of Pharahs have been playing more of the Reaper range or like Cassidy range nowadays. It's not as much about like playing 7,000 meters across the map. It still can work if you're good at that, but you can get away with a more aggressive playstyle. Remember, play a little bit too much of a wide swing there. I don't mind you going up, but it's too much of a wide swing. Like, stay a little bit closer to your wall. Yep. Okay, putting the damage in. Yep, remember, play corners. Don't give them a free kill. There it is. Spam's looking good. By the way, Chad, this isn't uncommon to see this now with Pharahs. I even see that in pro play. I mean, that's a good trade. Again, I think you're playing a little bit too wide swingy, like as you're going like too much outside to not give yourself some survivability. But I don't think it's the worst case scenario either that you kill the Ashe there. But obviously you want to stay alive, like for the most part, just to point that out. Yep. Good shots. Dude, apparently it's gonna be 80 degrees here tomorrow in Massachusetts. So I'm gonna teach you about trading here. In this situation, you're not going to be able to get that Ayari. If you do, that's going to be amazing. But honestly, go get a kill over here. Like, in this situation, what you want to do is it's probably a lost team fight after you've already lost, you know, 2 people. What you want to do is you want to go up here and help your Symmetra get a kill. Say you pick off the queen in the BAP right now. Now it's a 3v3. So, like, this is where you want to go for trades, not for peel. I would rather see you go in with your Symmetra here. Even if you get 1 kill, that can help set up your next team fight. So, like, instead you go back here, and then you end up losing the whole team fight. But if you go push forward in there, they're probably going to kill you, yes. But you might be able to pick up a kill or 2. I mean, look at your Mortar got a kill on the Ayari, right? So you might be able to pick up a kill or 2, and then you come back on this team fight and have much more of an advantage. I was just thinking, hopefully your Symmetra will ult out of the spawn door. I don't know if anybody just noticed that. I think their Symmetra just accidentally hit the button and ulted in spawn. Kind of unlucky on that one. Can't do much about that. I've done that before. Sometimes you hit the wrong button. Yep. All right. Yeah, I don't mind this. It's a weird one because, like, I don't... Is it bad? I don't really mind your trade there. But, like, I think you could have gotten more kills. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you kind of... It's going to sound weird, but you might have ulted even... With them not knowing you were there, like, I felt like you almost ulted too early. So, like, what happened was you wanted to kind of keep some distance. But with the movement one now, like I said, don't be... it's not the best advice I can give on Pharah, but, like, do not be afraid to play more Reaper range. I'm telling you, like, getting a little bit closer there. Not enough to, like, one-shot yourself with, like, the self-damage, but enough to, like, do a little bit more accurate burst to them. Okay, this one is... I know you, like, fall over here, but I've seen people do this all the time. Get the snowball with your team, not try to force the snowball. You're going to be fine again, but you're getting a little bit too aggressive now with your Pharah. Like, you're... Not the first one. I didn't mind the first play, but that one, you were getting too up in their face. Like, when you already won the team fight. I see so many people... I would rather you clean up those kills now and keep the momentum going than allow them to be able to push out of those doors. And because you go up there and lose... Like, you know, you go down right away. Now your team has a little bit of a disadvantage on this retake, right? Or not on the retake, but the ability to stuff their retake. And I just want you to kind of think about that going forward. Again, a lot of what you do now, it seems to be like more... It's almost like you get a little bit hesitant And then when you do make a decisive play, it's like it's all in or nothing. And like there's a good in between of that. You don't have to all in everything, but you don't have to play too passive either. So, a little bit of a tip, and I've been doing this on Domina a lot. You can boop the tire. And what I mean by that is if you can boop it backwards, that might give your team an extra second. There's been many times now on Domina where I actually boop the tire back and I win team fights because of it. Chat's seen it a few times where they'll be coming at me with a tire and I don't even react because I just use my Domina boop and I just send the tire back and then kill it. Like, don't be afraid to use that against the tire to kind of like push it back. Yeah, I mean, I've seen them use a boop a little bit, but maybe not as much as I've been seeing. But yeah, so the point I'm making is like, don't be afraid to do that there to give yourself an extra second. That extra second can make or break that tire kill. So, yep. Still waiting? All right, 8%. I'm ready. Oh, it's coming up. Okay. All right. I mean, no, I knew it. Good kill. Only thing I want to see, I want you to go into the air after that. Listen, I love the flank. I think you had a second to be able to go in the air and get 4 there. You great play, by the way. I love what you did with the Pathin. I wanted to see you wait an extra second and get a little bit more airtime because I think if you do, you kill 4. I'm not even joking. But again, I want to say that was a good idea, good play still. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of point that out there. Good job. Just yeah, you had an extra second. Either way, I just wanted to point that out. Another question I have, and obviously, like, you know, I don't think you're here for the review that I'm doing live right now, but when you watch this back, and you can let me know in the YouTube comments, what was the decision between going Pharah and Ashe? Because Ashe is really good in this map for like this rank. Obviously in top 500, you might see more Sojourn. Sometimes M right now with the corners, you know, Widow, Hanzo, even that. But Ashe is still solid. Why did you want to go with the Pharah on attack when Ashe is good here? It's not that you're playing like necessarily horrible. I'm just curious on the decision making of like, is it like you like Pharah on attack here more? Do you not like sniping as much? Because the snipers are so good in this map. So I'm always curious on that one. Anyway, do I think they ulted at that point because they heard the Ayari ult? I mean, even then, I think you need to not worry too much about the Ayari ultimate and worry more about like what you get kill-wise. If their Ayari is going in and making a play and like doing an ult, you know, you're not worrying about what the other person's doing at that point. You're kind of worrying about making your play. Either way, I want to point out it wasn't a bad play. I'm just showing that you have more opportunities to make even more impactful out there. It worked out anyway. It's not like a huge deal. It's more just like showcasing you some certain areas where you can still improve on. So. Yeah. Not bad. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like they're running a good comp against Pharah too. I mean, maybe you know what it might be. Maybe it's the Junkrat or something. Like maybe you just wanted to stay on it because of the Junkrat, because of that 1-to-1 counter. But I still think I don't know. Either way, you're still playing well enough that it's not like a huge deal. But I was just curious. Yep. Just help with that. You can play angles and hide. I gotta say, one thing you do a good job of, not perfectly, you do understand proper positioning. So like most of your deaths come from you making a rough play more than it is they're just like taking advantage of your positioning, if that makes sense. Like most of your deaths have been they bring the play to you than it is you like just feeding in the middle of the open. Again, you've had moments like that and you do have 12 deaths now. You have overtaken that. But like a lot of the time it's more like usually your deaths are too aggressive on a lost team fight or like trying to go for a crazy play, or it's like they just hit a good shot on you or something. Anyway. All right, here we go. Going in. Okay. Go for kills. Stay up top right. Don't force anything. Just play safe. You have an angle. You wanna play safe here. Okay? Play safe. Play the angles. Yep. Good job. There's only 10 seconds left. Okay, yes. I pick up what you're putting down here. Yes. I just want to give you a little bit of feedback on these ultimates. I think you need to scan the field a little bit more. So like, what I mean by that is you have a lot of opportunity to get free kills here too, but you're opting to kind of go in the middle of their team to ult. So like you're ulting right here, right? So imagine their point of view where they just see a Pharah right in front of them. Like actually, I can just show you. Like watch. So like, this is why it's important to scan the field. I want you to kind of see what's going on. All right, you're over here. This is where I'm playing from. I'm back, right? See what I mean? I know you're trying to like get to the team fight quickly to help your team, but if you just do this, you go an extra like foot and you go here, you have full vision of this now, and either A, they turn around to look at you and you can hold your ultimate for a second, or they don't, you drop down, you get a free kill on BAP, possibly the Emre, because you can move around now in your ultimate. Instead, you put yourself like that. Now, again, a trade's a trade, right? In an important team fight like this, you get, a couple cooldowns out and a kill. But do you see what I'm saying where you have so much more opportunity? Start to consider that when you're making your plays with your Pharah ultimate. Because I think this could have been like one of those game-winning ultimates, and instead, it's left up to like the rest of the team to decide how this game goes, right? Watch with that Ayari ultimate and your Ramatra going down, it's not looking too hot.
I don't want to talk about
So here we go.
We're outnumbered. Be advised.
And that's that. So your team does lose. Obviously, a little bit of a unfortunate event there for your team. But yeah, I think like to your initial concerns, I think something you need to really work on is there's a couple things. One, let's start with like not nerfing yourself. Stop taking yourself out of team fights too quickly. While you play corners very well, you ditch your spots too quickly. Help your team fight for positioning. Don't give up too much space, okay? I think sometimes you kind of just backed away too much. Remember also when you're on Ashe in the early game, stop standing still so much on your dynamites. Give yourself a little bit of movement, because as you climb more, that's how you get one shot by a Widow before your dynamite even goes off. Or other heroes, that can do that. And then when you're on Pharah, like, you got to think more about how you approach your follow-up. Like a lot of the time, like when your team had an advantage, you would go try to get a kill, and then you would fall over. You're pathing on Circuit Royale. You can go over the top near the bridge and get kills easily. You might have more time bank going into the third if you win that team fight quicker. Your ultimates, you always had the right idea, but you were a little bit impatient and you didn't give yourself time to scan who the right target was. So during your Pharah ultimates, really prioritize that target focus a little bit more. I felt like you actually could have won the game there off of a good Pharah ultimate, and instead, because you kind of chose to be in the middle of them, it kind of gave you a one-on-one trade. I think you could have probably gotten 2 and a lamp out, and I think that could have been the make or break of that game. Even if they did trade on you. So just remember, like, that's probably the most important part for you, is learning how to kind of play around that and make more improvement on that side of things. And I think if you do, you'll climb. But, last I checked, there wasn't a patch note that said they nerfed your ability to like stay in a spot. So I want you to like hold your ground a little bit more and then react like based off of what they do, not like, oh, I see somebody make, they're walking 40 feet from me now, I have to move over to my next spot. You're giving up your spots too quickly. And if I was playing against that, I'd be so pumped that you keep giving me that spot. So work on those, and I think you'll see improvement. Mechanically, you had some good moments and some rough moments, but like that happens to everybody. So, keep improving in that area, and you got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't, leave a comment. All of that helps. If you want to submit your own spectating, my Discord is where to do that. And if you want to watch another one of these to learn more about Overwatch, click the little button over here on the side or box or whatever it is. It's another one of these. They're pretty good, or they're good. Give them a look. With that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.